Hello and welcome to the Last Word on Spurs. Yes. I am Ricky Sachs. I've had a buzz cut specifically for this show. Of course not. Stop being weird. I am back. The crazy train driver himself, Lee McQueen, in for the great man, the boss man, the Ricky Sachs man, who is sunning himself or bathing himself in Limassol, as it might be right now. And I'm joined tonight by three amazing returning guests. You know these faces by now. You know these amazing people by now. We've got Jay from Change for Tottenham. We've also got Billie T with us as well. And we've got the amazing chatty passy Patrick Tyrant back on the Last Word on Spurs. And you know what? When me and Pat are on the show, no one else gets a word in edgeway. So at least tonight I'm the host. I can ask a couple of questions, zip my mouth and let everyone else talk. So you know by now, Ricky Saxon, I don't even do the crackers thing. You know where to find us right now. We're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, we're on any iTunes link, we're on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We never asked for that, so I'm asking for it. Like and subscribe to the channel and get involved in the comments tonight. You also notice as well, we're not that late. That's because Rick ain't here. Let's go, team. Let's go. We're loads to get through. A massive week for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Buzzing still. No, not after the West Ham game. Forget the league. I'm talking about the Bodo Glimt game that we was at on Thursday. Best atmosphere, in my humble opinion, that has been in that stadium, and it's been absolutely fantastic. So wanted to bring in, we're delighted to have Jay and Billie T with us from Change for Tottenham. So I wanted to bring in the guys first, just to talk about so a couple of things that we've got going on. Jay, let's start with you. We've got some things that have been planned, haven't we? That are up and coming. Just set the record straight for the viewers and listeners as to what's going to be going on, Jay, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, as probably a lot of people who do follow us and engage with us, who we massively appreciate the support, there has been some confusion today on X with a poster we put out this morning. Basically, how it was worded, it seemed to be that we were asking people to leave the ground at half time and don't return. That's never the case. Obviously, the one thing we advocate at all times is support the players, support the club. What we was asking was for a hold back within the stadium for 10 minutes. As we understand, some people might not agree with it. We're trying to find ways to make the club recognise that fans are not happy. I just think it doesn't help, obviously, with the semi-final, which, of course, to everybody involved at CFT, the main priority is winning something. It's what we're here for. We want to be this team that competes. But ultimately, at the same time, this protest has been planned for weeks. We put the initial post out, I believe, over a month ago to say this was the game we were doing. Unfortunately, it's fallen at an awkward time. It's just one of these things where we want to clarify we are listening to everybody and we understand we're never going to make everybody happy in this situation. It's one of these things where ultimately we have to decide what everybody feels the frustration for. So for people that are unhappy about it, we are listening. We're going to host a space tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We're going to get as many people on to say your opinion on it. And then we will reassess and go from there. Bill, have you got anything to add to that?
No, I think that's exactly it, man. I just want to reiterate the fact that we're only human. Like we're not a professional outfit. No, literally, we're just a bunch of season ticket holders doing what's best for our club. We're trying our best, and obviously, it'd be stupid to ignore the fact that we have the biggest game in my lifetime coming up on Thursday, and obviously, like the appetite for protest is going to be affected by that. No matter what you want to say, all the work that we've done in the past. The fact is that this game and this Europa League run is the most important thing right now, and we will not let Change for Tottenham affect that, and we will not let that guide us in a negative way. And I just want to reiterate the fact that a lot of people are saying cancel the protest, do this and that. And we want to make it clear that this protest is 100% against the owners of the football club, and it always will be. That's what Change for Tottenham is about. And people have, as Jay said, we listen to everything. We really, really do. We want to be a voice for the fans. People are addressing concerns about, how it affected the players and things like that. And we're listening to those concerns. And like Jay said, we're going to have a space tomorrow night where we're hopefully going to listen to more concerns. But I just want to make one thing really, really clear. This protest is about the ownership. And I personally think, what we don't want this movement to be is just one of those things where if things are going well, you stop protesting, you stop putting pressure on these owners. Because I think in 25 years under this ownership, when things are going well, that's when they fail. That's when they don't push on. We've seen it under Harry Redknapp, we've seen it under Pochettino. These guys don't know how to make a successful football club that is a sustained and successful football club. So I kind of think, and part of me thinks that even though we've got a huge game ahead of us, this is the best time to put pressure on the board, because we have to know that even if we win the Europa League, we're not going away as fans. We want more success for our football club. We want, continued success. So it's a difficult one for us, but we're listening to everything. We're trying to do as best we can. We're just a bunch of guys and girls trying to do what's best for our football club.
Amen. And again, I do echo that. And again, 24 years, one trophy. And that might be that we'll hope and pray that is 2 trophies by the end of this season, and it could well be, and we're going to get into that tonight. But the reality of the situation is that 24 years, one trophy is not good enough, and you're absolutely bang on the money. The reality is we don't want to try and derail any success that we may have this season, but also one trophy doesn't change the fact that we've only had one other trophy in 24 years, and something still needs to change. So really great to have CFT with us, Jay, Billie T, and of course Patrick Tyrant back in the mixer. So here's the thing, team. We've got loads to get into with Bodo, loads of preview that we want to get into as well. But we've also got some bits of news that I want to kind of just bring into the show before we get into the Bodo game. So PARATICI return. It's been reported in some areas that Fabio PARATICI has agreed terms over a return to Tottenham Hotspur. The Italian will form part of a new footballing team at Spurs, along with new CEO Vinay Venkateswaran. I've absolutely butchered that, but Vinay, he's actually arrived at the club from Arsenal, no less. And I think it's quite an interesting situation to start with, lads. And Patrick, actually coming over to you to start with that. One of the things that we noticed very quickly since Vinay has actually come in is that listening to the fans, getting involved with the likes of THFC flags and different fan groups, and that atmosphere, the tifo, the atmosphere that we got in the stadium. I'm not saying it was a result of an eye, but very interesting that was one of the key things that he's involved with. You was at the stadium on Thursday, like all of us. How good was that atmosphere? And do you think that this is something that we can start to grab our teeth into, if you like, moving forward?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone's good that's listening. Hope, obviously, everyone on the panel is good. And first and foremost, I want to echo what Billie and Jay said. At the end of the day, it's fantastic that we are in this position that we're in, but it doesn't gloss over the fact that it's been a disgusting season. 19, 20 losses, 24, 25 losses all in all. And even though we are on the cusp of greatness, so to speak, it still doesn't gloss over the fact that the season stinks, and wrong decision after bad decision after wrong decision after twiddling our thumbs has got us to where we are right now. So we still need to sustain the pressure. And I thought it was actually lovely to hear that even at 3-0 up, I know it's annoying we conceded late on, but even at 3-0 up, the fans were still singing that they wanted Levy out. So it goes to show, even when their team's winning and doing well, the feeling hasn't changed. And that's what the boys are echoing here, that yes, we are in a great position, so to speak, in one trophy, on the road to one trophy, but we are still where we are. When all of that is said and done, it's still not good enough this season, last year, the year before. So you can get behind both things. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. You can support the cause, but also support the team. And Billie, Jay, Christina, and everyone else, that's all they're ever saying. So I've seen some of the discourse on Twitter, on X, and I think it's crazy that people can't see what's what. But yeah, so shout out to Jay, Billie, and everyone fighting the cause. We're in your corner, man. So yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said on that. And then back to the atmosphere on Thursday, it was amazing, electric, scintillating. And I think that's where we all as fans, when we move from White Hart Lane to the new stadium, that's the kind of atmosphere we envisioned every day. We wanted it to be a cauldron. We wanted it to be a fortress, somewhere where fans, opposing fans and players are intimidated to come to. And unfortunately, it hasn't been like that on many an occasion. But when it is, I mean, I remember Arsenal away when we beat, well, Arsenal at home, so when we beat them 3-0. And last week, those are games where you're just like, wow, it's insane. And it's just great to see everyone fighting for the same thing. And obviously, we just want to see that more often, not just in the big games. We should be like that every week. But of course, the players have got to give us something, and the coach have got to give something for the fans to get behind. And you can see how the intensity from the players and just the concentration and everything was at 100%. And that's what it should be like in every game in an ideal world. I know that's not the case right now, but yeah. So Lee, amazing atmosphere, loved every second of it. I thought the boys did well. Really annoying to concede that goal is quite unfortunate, but it just means that we got to switch on. The tie's still not over yet. Maybe it's a good thing. It'll keep the boys sharp, because at 3-0 you kind of maybe take your foot off the gas. With 3-1, we still know we got to turn up, and I know it goes without saying, but sometimes, you know, as you know in football, people can switch off depending on what's going on.
Yeah,
And
totally.
I think that's all you asked me, Lee, isn't it? I think that's it pretty much. But
Yeah, for sure. Jay, coming over to you. I mean, PARATICI return. Is that a good thing for Tottenham? I mean, people battered me earlier on Twitter, as you get done in the week, for saying, "Oh, he's cooking." Hang on a minute. What about Gil? What about all these rubbish signings that he's had a heart in? But then obviously he brought in Bentancur, he brought in Decky as well. Like, do you think, Jay, a PARATICI return is a good thing for the club?
You know what? Obviously, I've been one of Lange's biggest critics in regards to he's got a good eye for talent idea. If we can get Lange doing something with Patrici, then we could be doing something. The issue is, obviously, as you said, we've brought in the likes of Golini, Gil, Dragusin, who didn't work as a Patrici recommendation. If we can get somebody that can get the younger eye for talent in there and somebody that can work with him to bring in the ready and now experience, then yeah, it could be absolutely amazing. But we also know that Patrici wanted to go back to AC Milan because he wasn't comfortable with what he was told he was going to get when he come back to Spurs. It fell through. It might be in our favour, but ultimately, it's going to be one of these things time's only going to tell. And obviously bringing this, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name because I see you butcher it earlier. But yeah, obviously bringing him in since then, do you know what fans have been calling out for since we moved into this ground is to turn it into a fortress. And do you know what, that game was the first time I've seen the club turn around and work with the fan groups. They brought in flags, and I tell you what, so much credit goes to Matty at Flags for arranging that on a quick turnaround. Because I tell you what, the atmosphere was buzzing, and I've rewatched the game back.
It does make a difference. People say that atmospheres have to be created organically, and I do agree with that. But actually, that push, like what you guys are doing at CFT, at THFC Flags, at Spurs Song Sheets, you know, when it just goes to show when you do get together and you drive for a common goal, it can start to make a difference. It reminded me, I don't want to go too mad here, it reminded me of the last day at White Hart Lane with them flags. It's what it reminded me of. To see that, I mean, I sit in the south stand, so I was holding up the curve of the D, right where I sit. So I had the blue one, and so obviously us in the south stand don't get to see the whose arms were aching, by the way, because that went on for a long time.
Mine were in bits at one point. So,
but what you don't get to see the tifo, do you? Obviously, because you're part of it. But what you did see is all the flags going, and it was the 180, the difference of that. So I just thought it was insane atmosphere and reminded me a lot. But Billie, I just want to talk to you a little bit about not necessarily PARATICI, because I know you love him cooking, but part of where we are right now in the semi-final, the Ajax game springs to mind, the scenario with Liverpool and Barcelona, 3-0 scenario, and Liverpool turning it around. It's very similar with the Man United and Bilbao being 3-0 and where we're at. Is there shades of 2019 going on here, Bill?
I think so, mate. And you have to look back on our league form that season as well, and everyone thought it was disastrous. The funny thing is, in that disastrous league form that season, we finished fourth. So, it's not that much of a disaster looking back, is it, man? We finished fourth on the final day of that season. But it definitely feels a lot like it. And I feel like the green kit as well that we was wearing, our lucky green kit. But yeah, it does feel like it. But I don't know about you guys. I kind of felt like as soon as we drew Liverpool, I thought there's no chance we're winning this cup. Like, it's impossible. We never beat Liverpool. There was not a single bone in my body that thought we'd beat Liverpool in the final. Man United, I think it's a 50-50. I think we can do it. I don't think it's as clear cut as saying we beat them 3 times already. We can beat them. It's going to be an easy game. They're the biggest club in the world at the end of the day. They do things like this all the time. So, but I think it's a 50-50. And having a 50-50 chance of winning the Europa League final, that's mad. That's something to get excited behind. So, yeah, I definitely feel like it does feel like that season, because the league season was really miserable, but we had this sort of cup run. I just hope this time the fans would get something at the end of it, because in that final, and in every final recently, we haven't even scored a goal, man. We haven't even had a goal to celebrate, and that one in particular was over after 25 seconds. So I just want something to celebrate, man.
I agree, and I think so. You know, I wanted to bring this up. It was premeditated, to be fair. But what's really interesting, Billie, hearing you talk, is I feel exactly the same. I actually, in fact, I feel a little bit more optimistic about beating Man United. Some people are saying, "Oh, we've done them 3 times, so it's typical Tottenham. We lose them when it actually matters." But I don't see it like that. I look at it as a real opportunity. I mean,
it's a big chance.
It's a massive chance. And I know, look, we'll come on to him in a minute in terms of talking to Maddison. But you know that, and look, we still have to get past Bodo, right? I'm going to talk about Bodo as well, but away in the challenges that has. But this is and this isn't about Ange talking up his press conferences, although I make him right. This is an amazing opportunity for us to get in Champions League football, to win a trophy for the first time in 41 years in Europe, to win a trophy for the first time in 17 years, to make that one go to a 2 under this ownership. You know, the players have a massive, say, to be legends, to lift that European trophy. Most fans, most of you, I mean, I wasn't even born. Well, I was actually born, but I wasn't actually to be able to look after it, right? See what I did there, Pat, right? You like that? But most people in our era have never, ever seen us lift a European trophy, right? Most people don't see their teams lift European trophies. So it is a huge game coming up on Thursday. And again, to come back around to you, Pat, how do you think he's going to set up? Because I've got a funny feeling, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but I've got a funny feeling he's going to play Danso and Romero and Van der Ven.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I never thought that. It never crossed my mind until now. That is really interesting. I don't think he'll do that. I think it's going to be too much of setting that apple cart, so to speak. I think he's going to go with Romero and Mickey, hence why they were rested on the weekend. Fullbacks definitely would be Porro and Yodoji. Unlucky for Spence, but Porro's been really good since he's been put back in, and Spence can't get a look in unless there's a significant injury. The midfield for me will be Basuma, Sarr and Kulusevski. No, sorry, it'll be Bentancur, Basuma and Kulusevski. And then the front 3 will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, Solanke's fit. It'll be Solanke, Tell, and probably Brennan. No, it has to be Brennan Johnson. Not probably, it has to be Brennan Johnson. He is. Yes. It's mad, isn't it? Because even I'm saying probably, he's our top scorer. and we still question him. And fair play to him, man. That goal that he scored.
That
goal that he scored on Thursday was huge, man, because that settled the crowd. And if without that, it's a completely different game. So you got to give him his credit. I know we all have it, you know, we're all probably his biggest critics, but fair play to the kid, man. He is chipping in with goals and assists. And that's what we need.
View, Patty, on Maddison, because you touched on there.
I'm heartbroken, man. I'm heartbroken. That is a big blow, no matter how you want to dress it up. Because in Europe, he's come up big and time again, man. And I know, again, he's another player that has his critics. A lot of people say he's a showboater and he's only turns up and he hides on this and that. I like him. I really like him. Yes, he can probably do more on sometimes, but so can most players. But you can see what he's about. The quality, the silkiness. He chips in with goals and assists. He's a big loss, man. There's no way about it. When you lose Bergvall and Maddison, I'm like, really? But then also at the same time, I'm looking at the squad and it's still good enough. And this is where players are made in these moments. The Basumas, the Sarrs, the Kulusevskis, the Bentancurs. We've got more than enough to actually still get across the line. It's whether the guys want it or not. I've seen lesser teams than us win trophies. That's all I can say. You know, I've seen lesser teams than us win trophies against better teams than, dare I say it, we're not there yet, but Man United. I've seen it time and time again. We've all seen it. So there's really no excuses. But obviously the guys have got to believe in it. The fans have got to believe. No more of this. I know, and I keep hearing people say, oh, we beat them 3 times. They beat us when it counts. I need to stop hearing that now, man. If we get there, we need to all believe that we can win it. It's as simple as that.
100%. That is the thing for me. Jay, bring you back in. I totally, that is it for me. Is none of this because look, whether or not you think I'm voodoo or not, I believe in manifestation. I believe in that we get what we want and what we drive for. And us fans constantly saying, the media constantly saying, everyone constantly saying, we're bottlers, it's not going to happen, we're not here, we're not. It does have an effect, in my opinion, on the energy around the team. And so, Jay, come and bring you back in. How big is this game on Thursday?
Oh, mate, it doesn't even come into question. As Billy said earlier, I think in my lifetime I've seen two bigger games, and that was the Carling Cup final versus Chelsea, and this one against Liverpool. Because do you know what? There's times where you make a break, and if you want to see a duck being broken, Harry Kane obviously winning his first bit of silverware, maybe that's a lucky omen for us. I'm desperate for it, and if I'm honest, as a Spurs fan, you sit there, and I've grown up with mates that Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, all of them have seen it. And do you know what? I'm so tired of being the butt of the joke, or constantly being the one that goes, oh yeah, Tottenham are bottlers, Tottenham are this, Tottenham are that. And do you know what? If we break that duck this year, then next year, you never know, we might kick on, we might just come back. So it's, by far the biggest game. And as you boys said, losing Maddison, I think out of any player that we wouldn't have wanted to lose, you've got obviously Van der Ven, and I'd say he's the second most. So for me now, it's Bissouma who's playing for his career at Tottenham. He has got a big part to play Thursday. And then if we make United, as you said, manifestation, I believe we could beat United. But Tottenham have made me eat my own words too many times. So hopefully Maddison might sneak back for the final. Obviously, nobody's got a full diagnostic how long he's out for. It could be we won't see him until next season.
Jay, you've just interacting with you on Maddison. You brought him up again there, and I want to get all of your views on Maddison. It is a big loss. But we have got Decky, and most were telling me 3 months ago that Decky's the best thing ever. He was amazing. He's this, he's that. And it is, as Patrick says, I agree. It is time for him to say, okay, great. I've had an injury and I've been a bit tentative since I've come back. But now I'm going to step back into the fray. There's no reason why he can't do that because he's a quality player. But Maddison is a big loss, right?
Yeah. And I mean, as you said on Kulu, if you look at his record versus the Manchester clubs, it's actually incredible. True. He performs against United. He performs against City. So losing Maddison, it's heartbreaking. But ultimately, as we know, inside Kulusevski, there is so much potential in a player in him. And if we can get him going and he starts kicking on just right, then maybe Maddison is a big loss, but Kulu can easily fill them boots, and Kulu could be the one that's pulling the strings in the middle on his day. So for me, gutted about Maddison. It's happened. There's no point in sitting here dwelling on it and feeling sorry for ourselves. Ultimately, we've now got to get ourselves to this final and we've got to win it.
Bang on, mate. I remember that. Billie bringing you in. It's time to eat, isn't it? As Kulu would say. He's hungry, man. It's time to feast. It is time to feast and step up, Billie.
Certainly is, man. I need to get his sister on the phone and have a word with him again after what happened last season. But Jesus Christ, like that West Ham game, man, he was terrible. But I think it's all steps come back from an injury slowly, and he's got the mentality. And Lee, can I just say one thing? You got the Ricky picture thing down, man. I'm really impressed with your picture skills.
That's it, mate.
It took me a while. I didn't think anyone could match Ricky for the pictures, but you got it nailed on, bro. It's a big chance for Kulusevski, man, because he's got that elite mentality. He talks about it a lot all the time. We've seen at times this season. I think he's been up there with any players in the league. In that purple patch, he was unbelievable. We haven't seen that for quite a number of months now. He's showed it in flashes, but it's probably been since like before Christmas when he was really in that purple patch. I really hope that just a big situation like this, 2 games, Bodo, Man United, just pull it out for us again, because I think, I'm going to be controversial. I think Maddison's our best player. To me, he's our best player. I think he's unbelievable. I think he's massively underrated. I think he's underrated by our manager more than anything else, because he's always seems to be the one that gets dropped when it goes wrong. I just think Maddison can do things which other players the creativity, score goals, create goals, the way that he can just glide past a player, turn around in the box, jink in and out. It's going to be a heavy miss, but for some reason, we're lucky. We do actually have some depth in that area. And Kulusevski, a lot of people would say, at the beginning of the season would be starting Kulusevski over Maddison. So it's good depth. I just really hope Decky can step up, because if he's that player that we had in that purple patch, where he's tearing apart Man City in October or whenever that was, November, then we'll be fine. But if not, Maddison's a big loss.
I mean, it is. Pat, you come back around to it. It is a bit annoying, obviously, with Bergvall as well being out. I mean, again, Ange, it's so difficult for me to hate Ange. I know his statistics and all that sort of stuff are terrible, but the way he thinks about the person, the human being, he talked about how devastated Bergvall is, 18, 19 years old. You know he's now going to miss a final and all that. It's been brilliant for us this year. He was just celebrating his contract extension, and then he gets this injury. So we've got Bergvall missing now. We've got Maddison missing now as well. It's just been the Tottenham way, isn't it, Patrick, all season?
Listen, we're built from tougher stuff, man. So the fans, we know this. We've been through adversity before. We're hearing Sonny might be fit for the final. We just hope that if Son is fit for the final, it's a real fit for a final and not just rush back because there's a final. And again, if he's not fit to start, then please don't start him, Ange. Learn from Postecoglou's mistakes. Leave him on the bench for the last 20. Because that will scare the Man United defenders. It will scare the whole Man United team base and players. And then having come off and work his magic in the last 20. But please don't start him like Kane in 2019 and he was a statue. Kane couldn't move. The balls were getting passed around him and he was just stuck in the mud. And it absolutely killed us. We were playing with 10 men.
Do you know what else would scare?
Yeah.
Do you know what else would scare people?
What?
This geezer starting.
You're not serious. I actually thought you was being serious for a second.
No, seriously, man.
People listening on audio, he's actually put up a picture of Timo Werner. So yeah, I can't.
It's like, where's Wally? Like, I'm like,
what's happened? You know what? It's a good thing, man. Thanks.
I'm not saying it ain't, but like, I'm just saying, like, where's he gone, man? He's just literally gone. So I mean, Sonny, you touched upon Sonny there. I do make you right as well. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's the Kane 2019 situation, more scoring a hat trick, all that sort of stuff, and then Kane coming back in. I can see a situation where Sonny's going to play a couple of Prem games, or however many games there is before the final, if indeed we get there. I know there's some pessimistic Spurs fans out there. We wouldn't be Spurs unless we mess it up and all that. I get that. But, you know, ultimately, let's be positive. We get past Bodo, and we'll talk about how we're going to do that in a minute. And I can see Sonny being available, but I do make you right. If he's not right at it, then keep him on the bench because there is an opportunity. And we know the Bears now scoring. Obviously, the Premier League scored a couple of brilliant goals in the Europa League as well. Tell's starting to have a look and just to change things up and whatever. So, and obviously, then we got Big Dom, which again I just want to touch upon as well. Just sticking with you, Patrick. It feels like he's going to be okay for Thursday and beyond. No serious injury there for you.
I hope not. Again, you know, he's so underrated. And I know it's his first season and a few naysayers say, oh, he cost us 60, 65 million. He's been a flop and this and that. He's not Harry Kane. We get that. But I think he's such a good player, man. He works tirelessly for the team and he's such a big presence. When he's not there, you see the difference. He's a focal point. He's somebody that defenders have to mark. He's strong. He's quick. He's a lot better on the ball than people give him credit for. And ultimately, he chips in with goals, which is the main thing. He doesn't probably get the service he deserves. I know that's probably an area we need to work on. But in terms of stepping up in the key moments, he's done that. His Europa League record is pretty impressive as well. If you look at the goals and assists he's chipped in with, and I just like him, man. He works. He's a selfish striker, which sounds weird because typically strikers aren't selfish. They want to score every opportunity and everything's about them. But he actually works hard for the team, presses from the front, and obviously, like I said, he chips in with goals and assists, and he will be a massive miss if he's not fit and available. I'm in two minds with him. I'm always from the mindset that somebody's not fit, don't rush them back. But I do feel that in such a big game to get to the finals against, you know, Bodo away, we do need his presence, we need his threat, and we need the defenders to have something to worry about, because then he allows the Tells and the Odeberts and the Brennan Johnsons to run in behind. Without him, the ball doesn't stick. Richarlison, as much as I like him, I don't want to be negative, I don't think he's good enough to play that role. You see the difference when, you know, Dom is playing that role as opposed to Richarlison. So we really need Dom, and I hope he is fit. I'm not really hearing any bad murmurs and rumors, so fingers crossed that he's a good one for Thursday, and obviously we keep it moving.
Great, Jay. You a Dom fan? Are you in for big Dominic Solanke?
Oh, replace the goals Kane's belted in his time. Kane's a once in a lifetime striker. I think that goes for any club in the league. Well, you look at, he would have beaten Shearer's record. You've got Haaland, who's admittedly a freak of nature, but I doubt he'll stay in the Prem. for too long. But for me, obviously, he come off injured against Bodo. He was a bit uncomfortable. I don't think we need to risk him. If he's not 100%, don't risk him. We've got Richie there. Richie likes to get ahead on the ball. Odobert at the moment seems to be finding all these beautiful crosses, and that's just going to play into Richie's game. I'm not Richarlison's biggest fan, not by a long shot. I think for what we played, he seems to have spent far too long out injured, but he is passionate. He wants to get about, and do you know what? Out of the 11, you need 11 players that are willing to do anything for that badge on their shirt. And all season, I've been one of these guys. I love Son to bits. I do feel like he's not overstayed his welcome, because do you know what? He does go down as sort of a club legend, because what he rejected to stay at Spurs because he loved us, he'll forever have the respect for it. But ultimately, how he's performed since after Christmas, he seems like he struggled to beat his man, be it a fitness worry, tactical. But if it comes to the final, as somebody said in the comments, I was just reading through, Sonny knows what it feels like to lose that European final. And that grit and that determination, he'll probably turn around and go, do you know what? This is my last chance to win something major with this club. In my last season, I'm club captain. Let me go out on a bang. And do you know what? I'll take the risk. If he's, as you said, if he's had the Premier League minutes, I'd certainly put him into the squad and say to him, look, you get 50 minutes to show us it. It's all you. But obviously, hopefully, in Tottenham fashion, we're not 2-0 down by that chance. So
it's so weird, isn't it? Like us Spurs fans, like even me, I'm like massive manifestation optimism. Let's make it happen. But the back of your mind is young boys 3-0. The back of the back of the mind is 3-0 up.
Zagreb, isn't it, man? Zagreb.
And lose 4-3. Yeah, exactly. You just all them things. And when I said Billie, just sticking with you actually on that, then Billie. I said earlier about is it giving Ajax vibes. I was thinking about it earlier. I was thinking about the show and planning what we're going to say and all that sort of stuff. I was thinking, I was in Ajax, right? I was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, obviously for Ajax when we lost, and I was also in Ajax, right, for the Ajax game. And I have to say, I think that's the best feeling I've ever had as a football fan. Like it was the emotion, it was ridiculous. I was like, I don't know what I was like. I was crying. It was just insane the way that happened. And I was thinking, I can't even remember the score. Like I know obviously, but I don't even know what the score is. I don't think, if you question me now, it's like, did we win the game on the night or did we draw it? I don't even remember. Obviously we went through, so I was trying to work out their away goals. But I think Tottenham never do it an easy way. We're not going to rock up at Bodo, are we, Billie, and just roll them over 5-0. Like something's going to be different there, isn't it?
I think so, mate. And do you know what? I was watching. I don't know if you guys watched the scenes this weekend, the Bradford game, when they had that last second score and pitch invasion. I was just thinking, I just want something like that again, man. But then I thought exactly what you just thought. Maybe that was Ajax for us. Maybe we might not ever experience that ever again like that. We've had it, that Ajax thing. You probably get it once in your lifetime as a football fan, if you're lucky. Twice is a miracle. And like, I think if for example, if we won the final, I don't think it would feel the same as Ajax. Ajax is its own thing because there was the last kick of the game, Champions League semi-final. It'll feel incredible though, man. But in terms of answering your question, I feel like we need to do what we did at Frankfurt, because I thought that performance was so professional.
I agree.
So like that kind of performance is what we need. Again, like we're not going to go there and try and score 3-4 goals. We just need to be professional and turn up. And we turned up in Frankfurt. And let's be real, Frankfurt is a much harder game than this one. And we turned up there. We didn't give them a chance. We scored a goal. And we killed the game dead. And that's what I want to do on Thursday. I just want to be professional, because let's have it right. We're a much better team than these guys. I think last Thursday proved that. Whether they got the goal or not. I think if we just turn up and be professional, we'll be absolutely fine.
I agree. And actually, there's a couple of things to follow on that before we go for our first break of the show. They play in the same colour kit, obviously, as the young boys or whatever. But Borussia Dortmund smashed them 3-0. Do you remember Jan Vertonghen, Superman? He was just all over it in Champions League. And we went away. And
that's what we need. That Kane 1-0. That's what we need to do on Thursday.
And that's exactly my point, mate. Exactly. So we're vibing tonight, Bill. And that's exactly what I'm thinking, because Lloris had an amazing game that day. If you remember, they were battering us on purposes. We didn't want to break. Kane goal, beat 1-0. that is what we need to do if it comes to that at Bodo. But look, guys, we're going to come back. We're going to go for the first break of the show for our listeners and audio. And of course, for over 2,000 watching live right here, right now, and everyone else that's going to be playing this back tomorrow or tomorrow night on a dog walk. Thank you so much for your incredible support. I'm joined today by Jay, by Billie T, and Patrick Tyrant. And of course, you've got the Crazy Train Driver, the original Crazy Train Driver, Lee McQueen, as your host, in for the boss man, Ricky Sacks. We're also sponsored by NordVPN to get the best discount off your Nord. Now, look, you might be going to Bilbao early. If you're like me, booked your tickets in January, you are definitely going abroad. And you might need to get some different links, still watch some of your favourite shows, or maybe you're just going to be out on the lash with a few beers to celebrate what will hopefully be an amazing win for Tottenham Hotspur. But here's the link, nordvpn.com/lastwordonspurs to go and get 4 extra months on a 2-year plan with no risk with Nord, 30-day money-back guarantee. If you fancy watching EastEnders in Bilbao, then NordVPN is your route. Right, so coming back to this, we've talked about Maddison, we've talked about Son a little bit. We've obviously talked about PARATICI. Another piece of news this week has been bubbling over that West Bromwich Albion are reportedly interested in wanting Ryan Mason as their manager. Highly rated Mason. He's 33 years old now. As part of Ange Postecoglou's staff, as you know, is Ange going to stick around? The future's up in the air after this season, so we don't really know what's happening. Could Mason be in the frame for the Tottenham job? It's being reported in the Sun that West Brom want him. Would that be a good move, Patrick? Coming over to you, do you think that would be a good move for Ryan Mason?
Yeah, at some point he's got to go and cut his teeth, man. Like, he's got to go and earn his corn. And it's all well and good being an assistant manager, but at some point, as a man, as somebody who's meant to be a leader, he needs to learn on the job. So I think it's time. He's been at Spurs for long enough now, and it is time for him to go and learn and figure it out for himself.
Do you think you could be seeing that image before the end of the season? But a Ryan Mason action.
Yeah, I hope so.
The Europa League.
Of course. When the Europa League, celebrate with the fans, celebrate with your boyhood team, and then go off and start your own quest and your own adventure. And I think it's the perfect time now. So, how long can you sit in the dugout learning and soaking it up? At some point, all the managers had to do it. And, Mikel Arteta's done it. The Chelsea current manager's done it. Every manager at some point has to step up and go and become a number one. So, yeah, why not? And I think the Championship is it's not, obviously it's a tough league, but it's not the Premier League. You won't have every eye on him and all lights on him. Yeah, go and earn your coin, man, earn your bacon. So yeah, nice, why not? Nice.
I mean, you see Chris Davis last season, obviously with Tottenham Hotspur as part of Ange's coaching staff. He's gone to Birmingham, didn't he, for this year? He's absolutely ruined that league. I think I don't know if it's changed. I think there was on 110 points or something last time I looked. Absolutely smashed that league. So that was League One. So he's done well to get them up. So I wish whatever happens to Mason. I know Mason gets a bit of stick on social media and that sort of stuff sometimes, but he is one of our own, and fair play to him if he's going to cut his teeth somewhere else. Jay, just bringing you in on Bodo. Let's start to get to grips with Bodo now. What do we need to do on Thursday? What do you think the setup's going to be? What do we need to do to get through and win that game to make it a shit show of a season, excuse my language, in the Premier League to be an unforgettable season in Europe?
Yeah, we need to do everything we do don't do everything we do in the Premier League on Thursday. As Billie said, it's a professional. We've got to turn up and keep it fully professional. No early goals, no sloppy mistakes. And I think you could look at most of our games this season. Most of our goals that we conceded are individual errors or players being sloppy with certain bits. So obviously, as that is, score early. If we score early, the tie will get wrapped up. But the thing is, everybody's saying, that it's an easier game. It's not. You got to remember, these guys got an 85% win rate in Europe at home in the last 10 years. That is amazing. We're playing on an artificial pitch, which we know notoriously our players have always struggled with. We just have to. We got to keep our wits about us, and we got to expect them to come out the traps early. And I can see it happening. Obviously, conceding that goal rocked my confidence a little bit. At the same time, you're going there, you're 2-0 up. You got 90 minutes to hold on to a 2-0 lead against a side that sort of don't have the facilities that we have. They don't necessarily have all of the recovery stuff that we have. So we've just got to make sure that we're on the ball with it. And yeah, it's just we got to hope that these players maybe have turned around and said, do you know what? Yeah, league's done. Let's put absolutely everything into the Europa League. And if we get a big result away from home, that means we've done it at Frankfurt. It means we've done it in Norway. We've done it in the Arctic Circle. Now let's go to a nice sunny country in Bilbao and do it all over again.
Nice, mate. Great work. I totally agree. And I think, but just coming over to you, I mean, we touched upon it before the break with you about kind of what we need to do to Borussia Dortmund. Like, I mean, I suppose we don't really care what we do as long as we get through, but it would be quite nice, wouldn't it, to have a scenario where we do score early and really put them under, because, you know, there's, you know, what is it? The population of the whole town is what, 42,000. There's 62,500 in the Spurs stadium itself. It's quite comical, really, if you think about that. The ground itself is what, 10,000 people, you know, like a Bournemouth type ground. It's going to be quite open. There's only, I think it was 512 ticketing points to get an away ticket for Bodo. I did apply and I did fail, but there's only 490 I think Spurs fans going to be there, so it's going to be tough. But when you look at, I think somebody said in the comments earlier, I think I missed it, but when you look at us going away to Galatasaray, and yes, we lost, but we lost on the basis that our goal scorer, the youngster, I can't remember his name, he was just been at West Brom actually. He got sent off. So we were up against it, but we handled that atmosphere well. Jay, as you just said, we handled Frankfurt perfectly. We can go to these places. For you, what do you want to see the players do, the manager do on Thursday?
I just want to show the fact that we are a much better team than them, because I think that's a fact. You know, I just they lost to Karabag at home this year. I know they got a very good home record in the league and in Europe. I think they beat Celtic and just Celtic, obviously, but they lost to Karabag, man, at home. We have to be beating the team that lost to Karabag at home. Simple as. I just want to turn up and I just want to make it comfortable. I don't want any heart in mouth moments. I don't want an early goal after 1 minute and then we're suddenly backs against the wall. You know, it goes 2-0 and then you know what I don't want it to be like. Remember that Sheffield United Carling Cup game? We were in the semi-final against them and they brought it back to us. We beat them at home and then they brought it back and then we had to score an extra time to go to beat them. I don't want anything like that. I don't want any nonsense. Just give us a nice clean victory. These lot, I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I think we'll be all right. I think it'll be fine.
Billie,
but I just don't want to get complacent, man.
Tottenham Hotspur, fella. This is not going to be. This is not going to be straightforward, is it?
It isn't. I just want to go after 5 minutes, and then we never have to worry about it ever again.
Do you think, just sticking with you, and I'll go to Patrick in a second on the both team news or what we think is going to be picked? Because Pat went through the team earlier. But do you think there's going to be a change with Maddison, as we've already spoken about? We've lost him for the season now. Do you think it's going to be simply Decky in for Maddison, and as we were, like, what's your thoughts?
If it was down to me, and if it was for my choice, I'd put Tell on the left instead of Richarlison. I'd go Tell. I like Tell, and I think I'd rather have Richarlison to bring on if we needed him in the second half as a striker, and then Kulu straight for Maddison. Yeah, 100%, man.
Pat, I want to come over to you. What about this guy that you see on the screen? So for the listeners on audio, I've got a picture.
It's not Timo Werner this time.
Yeah, it's not Timo. It's not. I've got young Mikey Moore on, and you know, I don't know whether you have been a bit more surprised. I know you've been, you know, probably not that surprised that Ange isn't playing that much and so on and so forth based on Ange, but. Are you surprised that we haven't seen him a little bit more? I mean, this guy, excuse the pun, but this kid, he's got everything, isn't he?
Yeah, quality baller, Tottenham through and through, so positive, can dribble, can beat a man, likes to receive the ball, doesn't hide, takes his player on and tries to make things happen. He is young. He has probably that young naivety, that young hunger. Yeah. He's not scared of anything, which is what you love to see. And it's almost like you don't want to say it, but it's almost like the manager's trying to that out of him by just completely just dropping him out of the blue, like out of nowhere. The guy was playing well, and then all of a sudden, that's it. Boom, you don't see him anymore. It's just so odd. But I'm pleased he got minutes against West Ham. And to be fair, I don't want to throw him into the firing line in a tough away game that we need to be professional and win. Obviously, he can come on, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't do anything crazy and start him. I don't need the extra pressure if things don't go wrong, if things don't go right, so you're then blaming him. But of course, every Premier League game from now to the end of the season, give him proper minutes, bed him in, so he's ready for next year. We've got nothing to lose or gain by not playing him. And obviously, if he can get minutes and start performing, which he will, then you've got someone else to bring on in the final. There's no reason for him not to be playing. So, I mean, obviously the season's done now domestically, but there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing at least 30 minutes in the last couple of games.
Interesting. And again, if Jay, coming over to you, if we were in a position away at Bodo where we go 2-0 up, I mean, I'm in dreamland here. We go 2-0 up in the first 12, 15 minutes or whatever it is. I mean, the tie is going to be turned over. You've then got a scenario where we can get, maybe it's not just getting minutes in, but it's just getting experience in that environment, in that scenario. Are you a Mikey Moore fan, Jay?
A massive Mikey Moore fan. The thing is, for me, I think at the start of the season, we all wanted to see him get a few games here and there. And then he come on against AZ Alkmaar. Maddison's interview is what summed it up completely. It was like watching Messi out there. Then he got this horrible illness or whatever it was he come down with. He seemed to sort of miss out 2 months of the season when he was really starting to get a foot in. I think for me, against Bodo, I'd say give him a chance. I mean, he lit up the game versus West Ham, which arguably you can sit there and say they're both, West Ham are at the moment out of form. They look done. But this is going to be a kid. He loves Spurs. He committed his future to Spurs when he had some of the biggest offers on the table. He had City there. He had PSG there. He had quite a few teams saying, look, we want you. And he chose to stay with us. So for me, if somebody's committing their future to you and they do have that bit about them and they're willing to fight for that badge on their shirt, then yeah, mate, give him a run out. And as you said, if we're 2-0 up, that is a perfect opportunity to get a player off like Brennan Johnson, for example, because I can tell you what, Brennan Johnson's going to score the most. Bearing in mind, he's probably the most slated player we've had this season. He's probably going to score the most important goal of the year. So yeah, for me, Mikey Moore is going to have that natural rawness to him where he's going to want to do bits. He's going to want to put his name on the centre stage. I mean, I'm not comparing the two. You look at Lamau for Barca at the moment.
Yeah,
it's like watching Messi reborn. You look at the Arsenal boys, and I hate to say Arsenal boys, but you look at Yanwari, however you say his name, and Lewis Skelly. Both of them boys, they didn't have Premier League experience. They got thrown in, and as they say, when you apply pressure to a stone, it creates diamonds. And do you know what? Hopefully Mikey Moore's our diamond.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. But buzzing, mate. I just think that Mikey Moore is better than just throw him on and give him minutes, even at a 2-0. I think he's an influencer. I think he can make it happen. I mean, I know most of us, the viewers and listeners as well, will want to watch the game that's coming on later on in the Champions League because the first leg was absolutely insane. And I do want to make a couple of points. Firstly, Lamau, right? He was absolutely ridiculous, like ridiculous. I saw some of his stats.
Do you remember a couple of years ago and his first pre-season? Do you remember when we played Barcelona and he came on when he was 15 and he absolutely rinsed Eric Dyer? He came on as a 15-year-old man. He's 15.
I know, it's 15. I know, he's only 17 now, whatever it is, isn't he? And they were putting some stats up. I think it was Messi, 1 assist, 1 goal, 2 assists at 17. Ronaldo, no assist, 2 goals. Lamau, he's got 22 goals and 30 assists. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like the numbers.
100 first team appearances. I think they're going to break him. I think they're going to break him, you know.
Yeah, I think they should send him to Spurs. If they send him to Spurs now,
he's a Spurs fan as well, you know.
He's breaking Spurs fan, isn't he? He was Spurs kick.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, there is some warning in there, and again, Jay, mate, you're right with regards to Lewis Skelly and that. I know we don't like to talk about that down the road, but throwing him in, and he's been brilliant for them. To be fair, I know he got sent off, but he scored some really important goals, some good stuff for them. So I'm looking at some of these pictures, and I'm putting some of these up for the listeners on audio, right? I'm putting Bergvall, Benson Kern, Basuma. I'm looking at his team. I'm looking at these players. Sarr, Brennan Johnson, our top goal scorer. Mikey Moore, absolute top talent. Richarlison, proper handful. Kulusevski on his day could be absolutely outstanding. Tell all the bags of the potential. I won't go with Werner. Son, just absolutely amazing. This is a team, Patrick, coming round to you, isn't it? That we should be wiping the floor with these guys from the Arctic Circle. It's not even that cold. I've had a look at the weather. I was going out in my shorts. It's 15
Listen,
degrees.
And that's why, for me, like I said a long time ago, Ange had to go because our team is nowhere near as bad as where we are in the league. And people keep saying, "No, who are you? You're not better than Forest. You're not better than Villa." We are, though. The problem is we've got better players than these guys. But the manager and the setup, and then also the belief and confidence is a big thing in football. But for me, there's no way we shouldn't have been fighting between 3rd and 7th this season. No way. I look at Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City. Cool, they're better than us. But even City dropped off. All the other teams, I don't see why we couldn't have been in that mix if we would have had a decent season. So that's where, for me, Ange Postecoglou has unfortunately killed himself. But in the Europa League, we've been very solid. The guy said from the beginning he was win something in the second season. So like you said, Lee, with the whole manifestation thing, he's right there, man. So yeah, look at that.
He is.
And
Go on,
right
Big
on
Ange.
cue.
Make it happen.
Big Ange holding the trophy. Make it happen, man. At the end of the day, I'm a Spurs fan first and foremost. I don't care about my thoughts and feelings and this and that. I want to see the club win trophies. I've said that from day one. It's not nothing to do with I told you so and then Spurs fail, because then ultimately we as a club fail. I want to see him win something. Whether I want to see him here next year, that's a different story. Obviously, we won't get into that now. It's all about being positive and manifestations and all of that good stuff, all those big buzzwords and juicy words. But for now, let's focus on trying to win something. And then obviously we can assess that in the summer. People keep asking me, if he wins a trophy, then he's got to stay, right? And this and that. I was like, let us cross that bridge when we get there. For now, there's so much more to worry about than that. And if he wins something, oh my God, then that's a completely different conversation. But first and foremost, let us get there. Do you know what I mean? We're worrying about stuff that hasn't happened yet. We need to get there first.
I totally agree, mate. I do really agree with you. I mean, and privately as well in the groups. For me, I've been Ange very
100%, 100%
the whole way through, and I just feel that coming back to change for Tottenham, lads, and the protests and where we are. 24 years, 1 trophy, 16 managers. That cycle needs to be broken at some point, and maybe not, right? But maybe this is the painful rebuild that Poch talked about 6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago in April, we moved into the stadium. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, we were told this stadium is a game changer. What has changed? So, the reality is we need change for Tottenham. We need change for Spurs. We need change for us. And I just think winning a trophy for us would be amazing. It's that huge pressure off our shoulders, that kind of, that mockery. That actually, to be fair to Ange, he has spoken about that quite freely in some of his pressers, and he sticks up for us. We had Conte in the presser saying that we weren't good enough. We had Conte in the presser telling us that we were shocking, and he didn't even really want to be there. We had Jose in a press conference saying that it's all about him. We've got a guy at the helm that tactically might be shocking in the league, and he's had loads of defeats, and I'm not going to try and defend that, but he is trying to defend us. He's trying to defend us as a club and to be part of that. And we do need that change, bringing you in, Billie, didn't we? We need something to click. And actually, right here, right now, what it is now. It's that click. It's not a sliding doors moment. It's you have to affect that change on the pitch, team. You are the team. You are the players that have to go out and make that happen. And then we can see what happens if it gives us a momentum, Bill, no?
And I think what's really, really important is there is no better time to protest against this football club than when we're doing well, like when we're winning trophies, because You know, we just want the Europa League, if we somehow miracle it, for that to be a springboard to be in the Champions League. Right now, go and spend like a Champions League team. So we're not going to go away just because we've won the Europa League. No, we're going to put the pressure up even more, because we want Daniel Levy to know that, and the owners of this football club to know that we're not going away just because we've won a trophy. We're not going away just because we're in the Champions League again. Now, we need that to use that as a springboard to have more success, to start challenging for leagues again. And we need to keep the pressure up on this board, because, you know, we've seen it for 25 years now. As soon as things are going well, that's when they retract into their shells. You know, they didn't buy Pochettino a single player. They signed Sahar and Nelson for Redknapp when we were challenging for a league. That's when they get complacent. So we need to keep the pressure on this board, and we need to know that we need real change. And we're not going to get real change if after every good result, suddenly the protests die down, the movement goes away. We need to keep the pressure on this board 24/7, 365. And that's what we're going to be doing at Change for Tottenham.
Yeah, well said, mate. Absolutely well said. And Jay, just bringing you in on off the back of that as well. You know, we talked at the top of the show, so we've got over 2,500 people watching us live now. So just to reiterate some of the key things that you said right at the beginning of the show would be really good for right now.
Yeah, I mean, there was a misinterpretation in the tweet that we put out this morning. Basically, it seemed like we were saying, "Oh, leave the stadium and don't return at half time." That was never the plan. It was always a delayed return to your seats. Reason for this is you can still support these players. This game isn't necessarily one that's a do or die. We've got a game in between when we would play the final. But the one thing we asked for is, obviously, we listen to absolutely everybody who has an opinion on it. If you're not happy with it, tell us. Obviously, we've seen quite a few fans that aren't happy with it. We are listening. And obviously, to reiterate, we are going to run a space tomorrow where we want everybody on who's possible to come on, talk to us, tell us their opinion on why. Obviously, the last thing we want to do is upset a movement that us at CFT and thousands of people have worked so hard. Every single person that turns up to these protests, every single podcaster who supports us, every single media outlet that supports us, it's all working because we're all coming together. The last thing we want to do is drive a divide between everybody, between what we believe is right and wrong. You've just got to remember that we're not people that are professionals in this. We are literally just a group of friends who go to games, who just want better for the club. And do you know what? We hope people feel the same. And obviously, we understand not everybody is going to feel the exact same about the walkout. But ultimately, we can only ask people what we are going to be doing. We're not going to force anybody to do it. And obviously, when it comes down to supporting the players, the biggest thing we emphasize before every protest, before everything that we plan, is always support the players, support the manager. And as I said, I'm not Andrew's biggest fan, but whilst he's in the driving seat, driving us towards this final, he will have my support. And do you know what? Ultimately, we reassess in the summer and we go again. We can't let this die off over the summer. We understand it's going to be tough, because say we do win it and Daniel Levy goes, do you know what? Here's 80 odd million on somebody from the Championship. We need to be supporting, and we need to be backing it up, and we need to be making sure that pressure is on at all times, because ultimately, one trophy being added to 2 trophies in 25 years, you tell that to a rival fan, oh, your club's going to win 2 trophies in 25 years, and they're going to laugh at you, because we claim we're this Big Six club. We need to start operating like it, and that's all I can really say on it.
Yeah, no, it's really well articulated, mate. And I just think that, you know, you mentioned the Big Six there. When you start looking at the history tells you that we average finish in Premier League's 5th. History also tells you that I think we're top 6 in terms of trophies won, 17. Yes, I know there might be rival fans in here, but we have actually won 17 trophies in our history. But what you've also got to realise when you balance that, and I was having this debate in one of my other groups in the week, is that we were founded in 1882. Right, it was 143 years ago, right? I think if my maths is correct. And during 143 years as a club of existence, we've won the top tier division twice. So when we start pushing ourselves into, we must win the league, we got to bring the league, you know, it's tough to do. And we you know, way before the board came here and so on and so forth, we'd only ever won the league twice. But that's why I said right at the top of the show is that we are not good enough. Tottenham Hotspur are not good enough to compete in all 4 fronts. I actually think it's ludicrous to think that we can. So to actually be in a position where we are now in the Europa League, where we already know that the league is dead this year for sure. We have to go and win the Europa League. And I remember being on a show with you, Pat, right at the beginning of the season, where I think I predicted we'd finish third. So you can kill me for that, because I battered you last season for saying that we'd finish ninth, and I said fifth. I got it right, and I battered you. So you can kill me for that, because I said third. But actually, you know, with the squad, with your paper, with all that thing, you kind of look at that. But I do remember being on that same show, both of us saying we've got to win the Europa.
Yeah, 100%.
We're in the mix to do it, team.
100%.
We're in the mix to do it. That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I said fifth or sixth and Europa. We're still in with a shot with the Europa, and ironically, the Europa will put us back in the Champions League anyway. So, like, yeah, I mean, these players, and like I was saying earlier, and Jay said it, and Billie said it. At the end of the day, even with Maddison and Burville out, they've got a chance to become actual legends, to win a European trophy. Not many, you know, we're getting bantered left, right, and centre, and cool, rightfully so. But if we win a trophy this season, oh my God, you will not hear the end of me. Honestly, I will be unbearable this summer on Twitter, because I've taken the heat for so long. We all have. And then the fact is, we could end with a trophy and be in the Champions League. I mean, all of a sudden, we're seeing
it's
discourse.
not a banner trophy either.
Yeah, exactly. It's a proper trophy.
Not a banner trophy.
Why do you think people like Arsene Wenger and Richard Keys and Andy Gray are all of a sudden, oh, Tottenham shouldn't be, and all of this? They didn't care when Sevilla and all these other teams won it, but now all of a sudden, because it's Tottenham, everyone's got something to say about it. Please, let's boil more piss by winning it. If we win it, we're going to piss off so many people. It's going to be insane. And we can rightfully gloat, because it is a proper trophy. And it's a trophy. When the Arsenal boys were in it for 5 years in a row, they couldn't get across the line, irrespective of what they're trying to say to you now. And they had a decent team, and they had Arteta at the helm, and they couldn't do it. So if we can do it, I'm not Ange's biggest fan, never have been, never will be. And even if he wins, I'm not going to sit here and lie. That would be crazy. You all can see what I say. It's clipped and it's all over the internet. But if he wins that, he will have my ultimate respect, utmost respect for the rest of my life, because he's delivered a trophy to Tottenham Hotspur. So that's all I can say, man.
Yeah, you know what I keep thinking about, man? You know that Elfsport game when we beat him at home? We had Scarlett, Ajay, and Mikey Moore score that game. Imagine if they scored, all three of them scored in the build-up to a trophy. Imagine like saying, I scored in one of them games where we won a Europa League. Imagine them 3 academy players scoring goals that night, and then it turns out to be a winning Trophy League run. I can't stop thinking about that, man. That just means a lot to me in the club, man. Imagine that. You've got 3 academy players. That's what it's all about, right? That
is what it is all about. And that's why we talked about a section earlier on Mikey Moore, because I think he's better than and even I said it, like a 2-0 up situation. I think he's better than that. I actually think
imagine 17 being able to say I scored a goal, which ended in a trophy.
It'd be amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, exactly, I totally agree. Actually, I just want to bring this comment in. BBO talks about Spurs fans like him being deluded that they think it's going to be an easy game. He actually lives, or this person could be a lady, excuse me. They actually live in Bodo. And they know that Glimt always score goals. Bergen even very, very important to them. I'm not sure whether either of them players come out and said, I can't remember the guy's name, and I'll butcher his name anyway, one of the players, but he did come out after the game, didn't he, and say, hey,
he's a better way to play.
Yeah. I think we can beat their press really easily.
He said we're like a Norway league team.
We're like a mid-table Norwegian league team.
And wow, I didn't know none of this.
Yeah, stick that on the dressing room.
He said their press is about the same as a mid-table elite Syrian team, and we can beat it easily.
No, I didn't know that. But
I disagree with that guy, man. We're going to smash him. Sorry.
It's not an easy game, and they can't be taken for granted. But also, at the end of the day, we can still believe that we can beat them. We have to. Simple as that. I don't think any Spurs fan is out here saying we're going to beat them 4 or 5-0, this, that. We understand the pressures and what's at stake. But
we're going to beat them 4 or 5-0, man. It's an easy game. Sorry. Good night.
There you go. Billy's just killed me there. But yeah, please, let's not have that clipped for the wrong reason.
Yeah, don't clip that up, please.
Don't clip that up. So look, let's have our kind of final summary, if you like, on what we think Thursday is going to bring, and then of course I'm going to get some predictions from all of you. Let's start with Jay first. Don't predict yet. Let's just do a bit of a summary. What do we need? What's going to happen? What do you think? Spurs through and through, all of us are, all of viewers and listeners. What's going to happen, Jay? Tell me. Get your crystal ball out, mate.
Crystal ball's going to come out, and hopefully we start strong. Do you know what? Stay compact. Play horribly. We got to play to our strengths. which is going to be on a counter-attack. And I get a feeling they are going to press us. When teams do press us, there's a reason we're the second highest scorers in the Premier League. We can score goals. We are dangerous. The issue we have to solve is we're leaky. We need to stop with the naive mistakes. We can't be silly and try and think that we're going to go there and stroll about. The ball moves so much quicker on an AstroTurf. The ball bounces differently. We have to be aware of the surroundings. We have to be aware that they're going to be up for it. So yeah, we just got to make sure that we, in each one of them players, turns up and does their job. There's no passengers there. At the end of the day, as you said, I'll be putting on there the photo of Bilbao and the trophy and saying, look, this is what we are 90 minutes away from being involved in. And do you know what? If the players can't turn up for that, then there's going to be some home truths. But I think we get it done. I do think we get it done.
Come back to you in a minute for predictions. Billy, what are you saying, buddy? What's happening? What do we need to do in Norway in 2 days' time?
You know that Limmy video, man. I'm doubling down. We're gonna smash these up. There'll be no problem. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna score early. We're gonna be in our driving seat. No, I'm not scared of no team from Norway. I'm sorry, I'm not. We're gonna beat them 4-0. It'll be easy. I'll be going to Bilbao. Clip it up. I'm taking it home.
He's gone for the prediction early. 4-0. He got 4-0 from Billy T. I'm in for that, mate. Put that, inject that. Is that what the kids say? Inject that in my veins. I want a bit of 4-0. That's what I'm having. Patrick, what do you think we need to do? What's your, again, get your crystal ball out. What do you think is going to happen, mate?
Be professional, no silly mistakes, no silly playing out from the back, be switched on at all times like we were against Frankfurt. Frankfurt, I saw a different team. I didn't think we could go away and keep a clean sheet against a really good team. Frankfurt, fourth in the league, won the Europa League 2 or 3 years ago. Let's have it right. They're a quality team, and we did a number on them. We kind of need that same discipline on Thursday, and I believe we'll do it. I believe the guys have it, what it takes. I've done it recently, know what's at stake. So I just think be professional. We'll have chances and just be clinical. Bury your chances. I think we'll beat them. I won't say comfortably because it will be a tough game, but I do think I'll just do my prediction now, get it in. I think we'll beat them 3-1. I think we'll beat them 3-1. I think that they're obviously going to have to push us and press onto us. And obviously they're going to leave gaps. And we are more than capable of breaking their press with the players we have and punishing them.
Yeah, it's that speed, isn't it? Jay, just come back round to you for a prediction. But it's that speed, Patrick, isn't it? On that, I suppose, on that transition or on that counter, we've got that ability to transition very, very quickly. What I'm really liking, is Bentancur, the role that he's now playing in there. I think Biss will probably get a game, as we mentioned earlier, because of the injuries now, with Kulu just sitting in front of them. But what I'm really liking is I'm liking the Bentancur being able to pick the ball up, lift his head up, have a look, and transition really quick. And you've now got that situation where you've got, maybe it's a Richie, maybe it's a Tell, but you've definitely got and Johnson, our top goal scorer, by the way, as Billy, you mentioned earlier, running in behind. And I think that's key. For me to keep it around that also is getting Decky in the game, not letting Decky run the game, because I think he's got the ability to do that. Jay, anything to add on that before you give your prediction, bud?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I've seen the stars. Van der Ven is going to bolt one from outside the box. He's going to do one of these jinky runs. He's going to run all the way out the pitch. And I tell you what, he's going to cut across. It's going to go top bins. But yeah, no, it's, as I've said, for me, to win this game, we have to remain professional. Obviously, we've gone to Frankfurt, who hadn't lost at home in the competition for a stupid amount of time. They were known as a fortress. We just can't be naive, and we can't go there thinking that this is going to be a walk in the park, because ultimately we've done this many times this year. We've done it versus Ipswich. We've done it versus Leicester. We've gone there assuming it's going to be a walk in the park, and we've come unstuck. But obviously, leading on to that, I do think we'll win. But I think it will be a 2-1, and as long as we don't concede early, we shouldn't have too many struggles.
Yeah, I agree. Matt and Tandra there saying need to leave the brain farts at home, because as I think you said it earlier, JT, most of the goals that we've conceded this year have come from individual errors or tactically bad setups with high lines and this, that, and the other. The reality is we don't need to take a risk, and I think, Pat, you said it earlier, 3-0 versus 3-1. Maybe that one goal you could look at it as a negative, but actually maybe that one goal just kept this tie a bit spicy for the Tottenham side as well, because going there 3-0 up, you're probably thinking, yeah, we're done. What I do know from experience, as all of us do, and we mentioned it earlier, when you go with a 3-0 lead, obviously it's now 3-1 to Borussia Dortmund, we had an absolute onslaught in that game, absolute onslaught, and it was a masterclass, to be fair, in defending under Poch and with Lloris. Brilliant. It was a masterclass. It was fantastic, and then hit him on the break, and we beat him 1-0. But we don't want to get into that scenario where we're having to backs against the wall, and if they score early, that's going to really change the game. So we need to score early, lads, don't we? We need to get in front early and then just manage the game. There's no reason to go any other than, hey, you are 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour away from a European final. So let's just manage it and be professional. Like, I agree with you. I think that if we go there, put our best foot forward and don't do anything stupid, which, come on, lads, it is Tottenham, so something will go awry at some point. But if we go there and put our best foot forward and manage the game correctly, I actually think we're a 3-1 as well. I actually think we'll do 3-1, and what that'd be 6-2 on aggregate. That's an absolute battering, isn't it, team?
Exactly, mate.
Exactly that. So look, that's it. That's where you're at. You know where to find us all. Jay, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, Twitter at OJCo, known for notorious head loss and letting my fingers run away after a bad result. So I'm trying to calm it down. I've got bad Twitter fingers, but yeah, no, OJCo, and then obviously change for Spurs. Once again, I just want to apologise to the people that have misinterpreted how we worded our tweet this morning. It's obviously we are listening to everybody. We're not people that are media trained and we're set up to go out and do this every day. We're people just trying to make a difference for the football club that we all love. But yeah, thanks for having me on. Obviously got a better hairstyle than Rick today, Lee, so I'll let you off. But
sure,
yeah, always good. So I appreciate having me, boys.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And Billie T, everyone knows that you are the king of Twitter. Everyone knows where to find you, mate. If you want to see who wins Twitter, just follow Billie T. But anything to add on CFT as well, mate?
Yeah, man, just want to echo what Jay said. Yeah, we'll be in a space tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're still listening, trying to get everyone's opinion. We're trying to make this right. We're trying to get everything right. It's difficult to get everything right at the moment because, we're a crazy football club. We're an absolutely crazy football club, and you can never predict what we're going to do. So imagine trying to, plan around this craziness of a football club. That's what we're trying to do. It's an impossible job. So we're just trying to do as best we can. I just want to shout out Pat as well, man, because we were together last Thursday. So, yeah, that was hopefully a good luck omen. And yeah,
where's my invite? I'm in the south as well.
Yeah, you're not down with the cool kids, Lee. You're not down with the cool kids.
We had a round in B&H. Probably cost about 50 quid for 2 drinks. Yeah. Number
Brilliant, mate. Absolute pleasure, mate, to be on the show.
Thank you, man. And pleasure.
Always fantastic. And last but not least, obviously, Patrick Tyrant still not on 40 points. Patrick,
no, mad. When I said this about 4 months ago, you should have saw the comments.
I think I was one. I was giving it to you as well, man. We go at each other. But look, you're right. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on. Where can everybody find you? What's going on the world of Patrick, mate?
Patrick Tyrant on X or Twitter and Instagram, and I'm always on Last Word on Spurs. I'm here, there, and everywhere on podcasts. So yeah, just follow me on Twitter. You'll see what I'm up to. And shout out to Billie and Jay, man, and Christina and everyone else at Change for Tottenham, because they're doing an amazing job. These guys have got full-time jobs, they've got lives, they've got stuff going on, and they're putting the grind and the shift in to make a difference. And you can just see the difference of these protests as opposed to the other ones. You can see the numbers that these guys are generating. You can see that it's actually making a difference. It's making a headline. People are listening, they're tuning in. And I just want to see this continued. And even if we do win the Europa, I say even if, I believe we will, when we win the Europa, it still isn't good enough as a club that has aspirations to be cemented in the upper echelons. We want to win trophies, and it's the start. And it will show that these guys mean business, we mean business. And like I said, even at 3-0 up, we were still chanting Levy out. It shouldn't just be on bad days. It should be sustained and throughout. So well done to the team. Well done to the guys. I'm fully behind you. Yeah, not everything is going to be interpreted the right way. Sometimes it's not always about, the message. It's just about, so it's not about the people behind it. It's about the message and the movement. So continue that. Well done, guys. And yeah, shout out to everyone tuning in and listening. Thursday's another massive game. Let's get behind the team. Let's be positive and let's keep the movement going, man.
Lovely words, mate, and absolutely fantastic. So that's it. You know, I don't think I've done too bad. I think it's the third or fourth show that I've ever hosted.
Amazing, bro. Well done.
Job, man.
Yeah,
Pictures on point. Pictures on point.
Look at that validation. Love that. Look, I'm actually absolutely delighted to be back on here. I've been very, very busy doing lots of different stuff, which will be all prevalent in the future weeks. But I'm also back on. You can't get one dose of Lee McQueen. You're going to get two this week, because I'm also back on with Rick and the rest of the team for the Bodo post-match show. Once we got through to the Europa final, I actually do hope that we do get Bilbao. I know that's very, very unlikely, but I really hope that Man United have a massive brain fart and Bilbao go through and do something mad, because for anything else, I'm going to Bilbao, book my flights in January. We've got I think some sort of filthy hostel for the Tuesday night. Come and find us, and I think I'm sleeping in the airport lounge that I've booked in Wednesday night at the moment. I think hotels now are £3,000 a night or something ridiculous on booking.com, and that's for a 2-star. And I got all my mates, and because they're all watching, they're all in the WhatsApp group now, WhatsApping me. They're like, "Oh, we should have got a flight." Yeah, you should have had faith, team. You should have got a flight when there was 70 quid, and now they're about £4,000. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, "Oh, but how can we get there?" Well, okay, you should have thought of that. You know, was it a family of 5 Domino's pizzas about 60 quid, and you could have got a flight for 70. So yeah, all jokes aside, I'm thoroughly looking forward to Thursday, thoroughly looking forward to the post-match show, thoroughly not looking forward to any type of Premier League game. I don't care. It is all about the Europa. You've been absolutely fantastic, Jay, Billie T, Patrick, and all of you. The comments that are coming in, nearly 3,000 of you watching live. We cannot thank you enough. We always, always, always appreciate you. You are what make the show. It's not about us, it's about you, and we really, really appreciate you. So like, subscribe, and give Ricky, the host, the boss man, a massive comeback when he comes back on Thursday. From me, from Jay, from Billie, from Patrick, we've been the last one on Spurs. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
You Spurs.